We're back here on the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show. So, if I say the census to you, what comes to mind? People with clipboards, people coming to your door. Well, believe it or not, it is time for Census 2020 already. How often is the census?
Every 10 years.
Every 10 years. So it was 2010 the last time we did the census. Well, I just kind of jumped right into the conversation. Now I know that I asked you what your title was, and I know I wrote it on this piece of paper, and it's not there. But anyway, Sheila Beasley is with the U.S. Census 2020. And Sheila, tell me your title again.
Partnership Specialist.
Partnership Specialist.
Bureau.
Don't know where I put it on this paper, but that's okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here and see you again.
So you had a big kickoff on April the 1st, and was that twofold to let people know the census is coming, but to also let them know about job opportunities?
It was both.
Okay.
It's a national campaign. It's actually the countdown to Census 2020. So nationally, there were a host of activities and events to celebrate the upcoming census, which will be April 1st, 2020. And in Pittsburgh, we've been very fortunate to have some activities occur. A job fair with the Urban League, Greater Pittsburgh, Esther Bush and Richard have been great. And then PA Representative Ed Gainey has hosted an event. It was wonderful with Community Empowerment Association. And all of these events were part and parcel to raise awareness, get some acceleration going, some increased awareness about the census, and as you said, to talk about jobs. We have jobs that are available. We're actively recruiting. And so at both of those events, we have recruitment assistants who are there and helping people apply for the positions.
Okay, and people can still apply for the positions.
Oh, absolutely. We still have thousands of positions to fill. And they're more than the enumerator. I think people initially
that's what people have this, that image,
And that's fine. You know, that's a big part of the work. But there are other positions that everything from IT to admin, flexible hours, great pay, good wages, and just a good opportunity for people who want to come and, have an experience with government and be a part of what's important. And that's bringing the economic stimulus right back to our community.
Well, and you know what? It's interesting because I think for the sake of our viewers, we need to talk about why the census is so important. Because we have a tendency not to want to answer questions, not to want to give people information. But the information that is collected during that process affects everything from elected officials on down.
It really does. And that is such an important message, Lynn. I found out with this position over $675 billion with a B of federal funds are dispersed to governments and municipalities, which ultimately affect our communities. And it's based on population count. And it will affect our schools and our roads and our communities and those services close to home. So the data is extremely important, and we are trying to make sure not only that we're partnering, my job is really important to partner with those trusted voices of the community and key leadership, but also to help people understand that the data is confidential. You talked about people having their reservation, and we are sworn. We're sworn to title by the Constitution. We are sworn to utmost privacy and confidentiality. We could be subject to 5 years in imprisonment, $250,000 fine. And so the data is, I like to say, Lynn, for people to just see us as human calculators. We're there to count. We're counting, and we're not connected to have anyone go to ICE or FBI or Child Services. Our role is to get a complete count. Our goal is to count everyone once in the right place and to make sure we're doing that to the best of our ability. And
when you say that, I mean, up to 5 years in prison, honestly, there is nothing that is worth your business for me to go to jail for 5 years. It just isn't.
Right.
So then talk me through the process, because the kickoff was April 1st.
Right.
And so then is this year gearing up? I mean, when does it actually start? In January of 2020?
April 1st, 2020.
Oh, okay, so a year from now.
A year from now.
Okay,
yeah, this is a perfect time because there'll be a series of activities. We have a complete count committee with it, County Executive Fitzgerald and Mayor Peduto, which has a group of key leadership that are working on ongoing activities. I, in a partnership position, I'm speaking with faith-based institutions and businesses is, I'm at conferences, I'm meeting with anyone and everyone who could be a link to making sure we get the message out. Because that's the biggest part. You know, people have their anti-government trust concerns, but they'll believe it more from people whom they know, trusted voices, people who are established. And so this year will be a big part of the promotion and helping to get those relationships established, as well as the jobs. We have to have these positions filled. It will take 500,000 people to make the census operation work nationwide.
500,000 people?
500,000 people.
Wow.
And we want to hire as much as possible from our local counties and our local, communities. And so we are really pushing for people to see themselves as part of the census in that way.
And as you said, a lot of the jobs, it's more than a clipboard walking door to door. Okay, so now is there a website? Where do people get more information?
You could go to 2020census.gov/jobs, and there's a graphic right there. Yeah, and that will give a listing of the positions available and contact information. And everyone will need to apply online. And that also goes for this upcoming census too, Lynn. For the first time, everyone will be able to apply online. We have moved in technology.
Wait a minute. So the questions I'll be filling out online?
You can do that.
That's an option.
It is an option.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an option. We're pushing for efficiency. It saves money. People to go to the home, the enumerators, that's the most costly part of the whole operation.
Okay.
So, and in this day with the millennials, et cetera, there are a group of people that prefer to actually respond online, but we will still have the telephone option available as well as the paper copy.
Okay, but a lot of times that's for when people don't respond the first time.
Right,
like
right.
everything else.
Yeah, you get your call, and we send the notice about the census, and it's coming. People are well aware of it, and ultimately, by the time someone comes to your door, then you're part of our.
You have tried to reach him a couple of times.
Yeah.
Awesome, Sheila Beasley. Thanks so much for joining us, and because this is ongoing over the next year, you're going to have to come back a couple times.
Oh, I like to.
We got to remind folks all the time about what's going on.
It's very important. It's our civic responsibility.
There you go.
We vote. We get counted in the census.
We vote and we get counted. It makes a difference.
It really does.
Indeed. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, I have a waiting child I'd like you to meet, so don't go away.